So we have another 1 series, the new generation, the F70 series, this 2025 model. The thing is, right, is that the original one, the F40 series, which was absolutely hideous, replaced the glorious M140i, the F20 series, which we all know, all us BMW fans, is one of the best hot hatches to ever be built because it had a beautiful B58 straight 6 turbo motor with a rear wheel drive setup. And then it was replaced by the F40 series, which had all-wheel drive and a 4-cylinder turbo motor. It was disgusting. It was outrageous. It was sacrilegious. However, can this F70 series, with its good looks and interior to match, really redeem itself as the best hot hatch that BMW has created? And does it deserve to wear that M badge? Well, my name is Salvatore and this is the Motor Marvel. And we're gonna find that out. So what do you get for just over $82,500 before on-road costs? That's right, just over $80,000 for a hot hatch. That is a lot of money. It is eye-watering. However, you do get a lot of car for it. For starters, let's check out what's under the hood. So, you get a 4-cylinder turbo petrol motor, a 2-litre, that produces 233 kilowatts and 400 newton meters of torque, sends that power through a 7-speed dual clutch transmission, and then to its all-wheel drive system, allowing this car to sprint from 0 to 100 in 4.9 seconds. Now, it's fast, but it's not as exciting as you would think it would be, which you'll see later on. But its looks, for starters, honestly, I think it's one of the best looking hot hatches out at the moment. It does look very aggressive and I do love the design, especially over the F40 series, which was just, guys, it was hideous. It was absolutely ugly. This, on the other hand, has a lot of presence. I love the BMW LED new front headlights with the integrated blue in there, just to resemble the BMW branding. And then you've got this really aggressive M style front bumper. You've got the M badge just there, just to show everyone it's an M. And then you've got the nose that comes down here, and it does look kind of like a baby M3 that's been squished. I do like that. It does really look nice. The problem is, right, before I show you the rest of the car, is the fact that this BMW 1 Series looks identical to the standard model if you opt for the M Performance package on the standard model. There's only a couple of elements on the exterior that really sets this apart from the standard model for people to really know it's an M135. And that's quite disappointing. But let's go check out the side of the car and in the rear. So bear with me today. I do not have my cameraman, so I'm doing all this myself, and I'm going to give you the best content possible that I can provide. So down the side, what do we have? So we got 18-inch alloy wheels with the painted brake calipers. Now, that can be optioned on the 118 with the M package as well, so it's not special to this car. But what is like I said before, you've got those fixable M-style door mirrors. Then you've got these aggressive side skirts, you've got gloss black around the window surrounds, and then you've got the Hofmeister kink with the 1 logo. I really do like how BMW is doing that to all their models. It's really cool. It's a nice little feature, you know what I mean? And then you've got this prominent rear spoiler with this aggressive rear diffuser with quad tailpipes, which is only on the M135, which sets it apart from the standard model, and obviously the badging. So that's the rear, that's the side. Let's go check out the interior. So the interior of the M135. Well, to be fair, it's one of the best looking interiors in its category, in the hot hatch category. I love the layout, I love the interior. I think it looks very sophisticated and very modern, and everything feels really well built. After all, it is a BMW. But again, like the exterior, a lot of the elements you see in here can be optioned for the standard model. For starters, the steering wheel, it's very nice. It's a very thick steering wheel, typical M-style steering wheel, feels good in your hands and feels very sporty. However, this can be optioned on the 118. The only difference on the M135 is this center marker that's red, the M colors on the steering wheel that have been stitched in, and these more aggressive paddles, which kind of disappointing, but nonetheless, let's go on. For example, I love the LEDs that are integrated into the aluminium on the vents and on the dash here, which light up with the M colors as well when you choose sport mode. Now, talking about those modes, you can go through the settings, which has an abundance of different modes for whatever reason BMW decided to put this on here, which is ridiculous. Like you have digital art. What is that? Why not just keep it as it is? The sport mode. That's what everyone's gonna choose in this car. Sport mode, efficient and personal. That's it. Why would you consider putting all these other silly modes? It's just annoying and frustrating because they open the freaking the sunroof and they do stupid crap. Like, just keep it simple, guys. Like, you don't need that. It's just annoying. But this digital display itself, so you've got a beautiful curved display, which we've seen on all the BMW models, and you've got Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and all the functions are controlled via the screen. Now, what I do like what BMW has done is with their climate control functions, they're integrated in the screen and they never go away. So they're at the bottom, so they're very easy to get to, which is convenient. You also get a head-up display, and you get a wireless phone charger with more charging capabilities down here, plus a 12-volt socket, and you get a Harman Kardon sound system, which sounds epic. I also do love this cream interior with these beautiful sport seats. They're very comfortable and very supportive. They do have a massage function, and I tried to see if it was an optional extra and I couldn't find it. So if it is, it's probably gonna cost you an arm and a leg. The storage, well, you've got big enough door bins to fit massive water bottles, a decent sized middle console, and you've got a decent sized glove box. You also have volume control down here that is actually a knob, and it's not some sort of stupid haptic feedback button, which I do like. What I can't stand is there's no physical gear selector. You've got this little toggle switch, which again is annoying, but I get why they're doing it because it's modern. And also there's no haptic feedback buttons on the steering wheel, which really do my head in. You've actually got physical buttons that, you know, when you press them, they actually do something. What's pretty disappointing, guys, is the fact that the exhaust note on this car, considering it's supposed to be the full-fledged top tier M model, you'd expect it to sound aggressive. And it's got a soft limiter on a BMW. Why? And another thing is, which I can't show you because I'd have to put my mic down at the speaker and not have a mic to talk to you, is that when you're on the go in M mode, the car crackles and pops, but it's not the exhaust. It's coming through the speakers. It's fake. What is BMW doing? That's just very unheard of a BMW. I don't understand why that's even a thing in a BMW. Let's not divulge into that, and let's jump into the back seats, and I'll show you how much room's back there for adults and for your kids. Oh, and one more thing. Of course, the seats are completely electronically adjustable with multiple options on it. But let's jump into the back. Okay, so what's it like in the back seat here? Well, this seat is in my driving position. I'm not the tallest guy in the world, so I have plenty of headroom, a decent amount of knee room because of the cutout in the seat, and I can fit my feet under the seat in front. Now, if you're over 6 foot, you would find it hard to get comfortable in the back, and I would not recommend fitting 3 adults in the back here. 2, on the other hand, would find it not too bad. For comfort, you've got air vents down here. You've also got USB-C charging, so 2 of them down there. You've got a center armrest with 2 cup holders. And the fit child seats, well, you've got 2 ISOFIX anchor points located, one on this outboard seat and one on this outboard seat, plus top tether points, which making fitting a child seat very easy. You've also got big enough door bins for the big water bottles and another storage compartment down here just for your bits and bobs so the kids can chuck their rubbish in. Other than that, guys, that's practically it for the back. Let's check out the boot. Why doesn't this ever work? I'll just use the key, it's just easier. Okay, so boot capacity, quickly. You have 380 litres of boot capacity and you have just under 1,200 litres if you put down the second row. Look, it's not the biggest in the world. I've got my gym bag in here and the camera bag, and almost the whole boot is taken up, which is considerably a bad thing. It's pretty disappointing. But look, the most important thing about this car is it worthy of the M badge, and can it redeem itself and beat, or not beat, come close to the M140i? For that, we're gonna have to drive it. So let's go check it out. Let's get to it, because the most important thing about this M135 is how it drives. But let's tick off the boring things to begin with, and that is it comfortable and is it practical day to day? Well, yes, look, it's not the worst ride in the world, but it is a bit firm, to be fair. right? And look, BMW claim it has adaptive dampers, but I don't really think, I don't know, it's just not as comfortable as you would expect, but it's not the worst. Fuel consumption is around about 7.8 litres per 100 Ks, but expect around about above 8 because you will be putting your foot down most of the time because it is a hot hatch. You're not going to be driving it slow. In terms of comfort, well, you've got dual climate controls, you've got heated seats on both outboard seats and a heated steering wheel. And like I said, it's got a massage function, which is pretty cool. And safety, guys, well, look, I'm not going to go into safety too much because let's be honest, a car priced in at just over $82,500 before on-road costs, you'd expect every safety feature under the sun, and it does. It's got lane departure warning, lane keeping assist, radar cruise control, autonomous driving. It's got 360-degree camera, sensors, and all the works, right? If you want to read about my full in-depth analysis on the safety features, just go to my written review at Exhaust Notes Australia and you can read all the safety features it has. Now let's get to the real thing, and that's the way this M135 drives and how the engine performs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it into sport mode. All right, now I'm going to floor it. Look, it's responsive and it's fast and it's fun, right? It puts you into, like, it takes everything up to 11, right? And it makes you feel like you're driving something that is capable, right? But the problem is with this car, the biggest problem about it is it's just not that exciting. Like, the steering is very responsive, like it corners well, and its mechanical limited slip differential on the front axle does its thing, but it's just not like the M140i. The exhaust note, now I know I keep saying about it, it's just not real. If you can hear that, there is, look, what I'll do is, just to show and demonstrate, I'll turn right here. Give me 2 seconds, all right? Well, let's go down a windy road, and you can hear it, like, if you can hear, and I hope you can, the burble from the exhaust and the noise of the exhaust is all artificial. It's being pumped through the speakers. And that's just the thing. And the intake noise, it's just bleh. I'm sorry, but the engine's not that exciting. And it doesn't give you that zing that most enthusiast cars would. Like, I just don't know how to put it, guys. I'm upset because this Beamer was doing so well, like with its exterior design, its interior, and then just coming to this engine, and it's just not making me feel like I'm driving a BMW at all, and especially an M BMW, you know what I mean? Look, to be fair, the original M140i was not a proper M car, right? We all know that. All BMW fans know that. But that B58 motor made up for it. That straight six turbo motor, that was so tunable and so responsive and so noisy. It was a raucous piece of machinery. It was just awesome to hear that when it had an exhaust on it. And the rear-wheel drive setup just made it fun. You could take a hatchback sideways, which was unheard of, right? But with this, it just blends in with the rest of the crowd. And look, it's not that it's not fast. Like, if I put my foot down now, bit of, you know, lag because of the dual clutch, it goes. Don't get me wrong, it goes. But the dual clutch itself too, it's laggy at times, it's clunky, especially when you come off a set of lights, you jerk just to get off the line, and it's just not the same as the ZF that was in the M140i. And look, a lot of these factors are making me really upset about this car, and I honestly thought it was going to tick all the boxes, and it just fell short. It was almost there, almost there. I just want to say one more thing before we get to the conclusion, and the fact of the matter is that I owned personally a 130i that was manual, which was the naturally aspirated, the first iteration of the 1 Series. 130i, which was naturally aspirated, rear-wheel drive, and I had it in manual, and it was glorious. Then we moved over to the M135i, which my brother owned, and I drove on a very regular basis, which I thought was amazing, because we went from a straight 6 naturally aspirated to a turbocharged straight 6, and then eventually they went up even more they changed the V6 to the B58, which was in the M140i, and then they just went downhill with the F20 series, which is where we are today with the 4-cylinder petrol turbo
and all-wheel drive. Now, look, I just want to mention that, guys, because coming from a proper Beamer fan, and I know a lot of yous out there who are BMW fans, it's kind of sad. It's kind of sad that we're seeing this happen a lot in the industry, where a lot of cars we once loved and cherished are getting destroyed because of emissions and eco wars that are happening all across the world, and are forcing manufacturers to make cars like this. Look, I don't blame BMW, nor do I blame Mercedes with the new C63 and all the cars that are out there. It's just sad that we're getting to a point where cars that are like this, that should have a bigger power plant, should have all that, just don't. And it's a sad realization that we must all come to, that the only cars that are gonna fulfill our need and want for driving thrill are old cars, and we're gonna have to eventually just buy old ones and enjoy them and cherish them and keep them locked up, and that's what's happening, and we're just not sharing it amongst the world. So I just want to come to that sad part of the video to just say and voice my thoughts on what's happening. And this is one of the examples, and it's really, really upsetting, because I know a lot of you out there like me love the thrill of a drive, and we might just not have that in the future for our future generations.
Okay, so my final verdict on the BMW M135. For starters, it is a drastic improvement over the previous generation. It looks aggressive, it looks nice, it doesn't look ghastly anymore, and it actually has some sort of presence on the road. And look, and the engine's not by any means slow or underpowered. It's very powerful and very potent, and it can do what you want it to do. The problem is, and there's two of them, guys, is at the start of the video I said, is it unique? No, it's not. And the reason why it's not unique or special in that regards is because you can do all this trim and interior to the standard 118 with the M Sport package, which is quite disappointing. So the only difference is the power plant, and that brings me on to number two. And M cars are supposed to be raucous, stupid, fun, loud, obnoxious. This is just none of that. It doesn't give you, as a motoring enthusiast or a BMW purist, that feeling. Everything's kind of fake, and everything's kind of easy and not hard to throw it through corners. There's no feeling, there's no responsiveness, there's none of that thrill of a drive from this car. Its all-wheel drive system is front-wheel drive bias, which is kind of sacrilegious to a BMW. And the previous M140i had that glorious straight six turbo motor with a rear-wheel drive setup. It shouldn't have worked. There was a big engine with a rear-wheel drive in a hatchback. It should have been, it just defied laws of physics, but it worked. It was fun. It was exciting. This, it just doesn't, and it honestly doesn't deserve to wear this. I'm sorry, BMW, and I'm a BMW nut. It's just a sad reality of the 1 Series. So if you're a motoring enthusiast who loves the thrill of driving, I would just buy an M140i. But if you are a person who wants a fast hot hatch that has some premium quality to it, that can outshine a Golf R in terms of design and build, probably not speed, but all the other stuff, then the BMW M135 might be a good choice for you.